Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play the Journeyman Project 3 Legacy of Time. We learned a lot about the story last time, which has some interesting parallels. Scribe's still working on in the temple.
You know, Gage, that balloon in the shaman's aviary could probably take us pretty high. Maybe we should consider borrowing it for a quick flight?
Unfortunately, when we last were there, we didn't have anything flint, or made of flint, in order to actually get up there and use it to see what the first shaman saw. Which means that we have to find something flint. Maybe the scribe can help us. Because in addition, we have a ton of different disguises in order to talk with different people. But ultimately, we're going to be heading back to the farming mesa and talk with the Cheo. Because he also has a talisman that the shaman gave him. We need that talisman, apparently, according to the shaman. Hi, Chebo.
Huh? I am sorry, warrior, but I do not have time to speak with you. There's so much work to do.
Oh, okay. Alright then, fine. Artuk. Kind of a cacophonous name. Not a pleasant one either. How about the leader? We haven't actually talked to anybody as the leader. And he's the first one we can actually talk to. There's not a lot of people we can talk to in this time zone.
Quo-thalas. I wish I had time to talk with you, my friend. But I still have much of the great story to finish. And there was so little time left.
Quo-thalas. Alright. He is really busy, but what part are you on now? Probably the ending, but I know.
What part of the great story are you chronicling?
I am depicting the return of the brothers. The shaman will soon tell me whether we survive their fury, and then I will finish the story.
He hasn't told you yet. I guess the shaman is just kind of waiting until he feels comfortable in order to tell anybody about it. So if you told the person chronicling the story that you're gonna all be destroyed, well, I can see your reservation.
How much time do you have left?
The old prophecy is right. Tomorrow we see the battle of the great story unfold. The history must be chronicled before then.
Tomorrow, the great battle.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, my friend. Come find me tomorrow when I am not so busy. No disrespect, Quo-thalas, but unless the shaman is going to see me, I am not to be disturbed.
Alright then, if it's gonna take the shaman to convince you to stop and talk, then say hello to the shaman.
Shaman Ualqua, is the ritual complete? Can you finish the story?
Oh, be careful here, Gage. This could be tricky. We don't want to change things.
This is the first instance that we've actually have where we're in a position where we have a disguise of someone really powerful. And we can bend time depending on what we say. This would be a really cool idea if it wasn't restricted to the fact that we can't actually die and not really get punished in this game. So unfortunately, we only have very limited choices, and both of them are safe.
No, the ritual is not done. I must go back to finish it now.
That is fine, shaman. I have ample work.
I was just out for a really long stroll, that was all.
I have seen only pieces. There is still more to see. How is your work coming?
I will be honest. I still have much work to do. I have little gold leaf remaining. None of the aviators can be spared to help in my work. People keep distracting me. Oh, my apologies, shaman. You do not need to hear such things. I promise you, the chronicling will be done.
Alright, good then. I will be back on my strolls.
Goodbye.
My shaman, may the spirits guard you. My shaman, you're back. Have you finished the ritual?
So yeah, we can't actually tell him about the end of the story. It's possible that the shaman doesn't even tell him about the end of the story, and then tomorrow happens, and you know, everything just kind of goes to just hell in a handbasket. Ow. Really got you watch your head on this. Alright. Back now on this plateau and the transportation system for the balloons. Pimpin' gold. But it's time to see the farming team again. They are about to be visited by some very important people. So let's get going. Let's start with the farmer up above. Hello. Geez, when it's standing still, the llama over there kind of looks not that great, but then when you're moving, he's actually made properly. It's like they actually got a llama. I'd be surprised if they did. Now I don't want to start at the top of the chain of command, I want to go up. So let's start with the warrior. Hello, sir. Could you please put the weapon away?
Greetings. It has been many months since my son and I have felt the blessing of your presence on our farm. I suppose we've all been busy. How may I help you?
Nice. Let's pry into his personal business.
What kind of farming do you do on this plateau?
For generations, my family has maintained the wells and farmed the terraces to grow the maize and other vegetables for our people.
He seems very surprised that someone is asking about his work. Probably doesn't get it very often.
Tell me about the terraces.
You are curious today. Generations ago, the element spirits shared the secrets of the land with the first farmers of our family. Toawalpa taught them to cut into the rock and level the plateau. They learned how to grow crops on the terraces. And to this day, our family still works the same fields.
Tell me about your wells.
The icy blood of Alawaka flows from the mountains, fills our wells, and gives life to our crops. The great water spirit showed the farmers long ago how to build the aqueducts that would carry the precious water to our thirsty fields. With the secrets of Alawaka and Toawalpa, water and earth, we have made this barren rock fertile.
Now for the very important question. Tell me about your little boy.
Tell me about your son.
Acheo is a very bright young man. But he gets distracted too easily. Lately, he has been dodging his chores to see the shaman. Still, I can sense a great man in that young boy.
Well, now he's been dodging chores in order to sleep for hours on end. He might be having dreams. That could actually help, but otherwise he's just seriously has a case of snoozing.
Forgive my intrusion. I'll leave you to your work now.
Thank you for coming. I appreciate the visit. Oh, and if you see my son, remind him that he has chores to do. Is there something I can help you with?
Oh, don't worry. I'll remind him. Now, this is another case of the olive oil vendor, where the first person you come as that isn't a specific person related to the farmer, you get extra dialogue options. So, for instance, if I go back as the scribe, or any other character that isn't special, then I will get this option.
Forgive me, friend. With all the work I have today, I have no time for conversation.
The aviator leader is also the same in terms of talking with Akul here, but the shaman is another special person to talk as.
Shaman, you honor me. Your presence convinces the Earth Spirit Oawalpa to bless my crops. I assume this visit concerns my son.
Yes, he has a great destiny. I'm here to train him in martial arts. I'm here to take him away from you because I'm child services, or anything, really.
Tell me about your son.
Shaman, you know that Acheo lost his mother in the wintering. He is a strong boy, but the pain, it struck him deeply. He was withdrawn for a long time. Besides me, you seem to be his only friend now. I appreciate the time you spend with him, and the gift was very generous.
That was a lot of serious information all at once. Acheo. Very special boy. Lost his mother, which means great adventures for him! Jeez, he could be in a completely different game and it would be perfectly fine. Curious about the gift, though.
What gift are you talking about?
The beautiful talisman you gave him. Acheo is always talking about it. When I first saw it, it looked so real. I thought that you had actually given him a true ritual relic. He cherishes it, and he wears it every day. Because of your attention and guidance, I know he will grow up to be a leader of our people.
He'll grow up to be so awesome. Well, I can say goodbye to Akul now.
I can see that you have much to do. I'll let you return to your work.
Thank you, Shaman, for coming. And when you speak to the Earth Spirit Oawalpa, thank her for the abundant harvest. If there is something else you need, Shaman, please, do not be afraid to ask. It is my honor to serve you.
Sure. I just like how he speaks in terms of talking about Acheo, because if you didn't not know, Akul and Acheo's actors are actually father and son. So it just kind of worked perfectly, to be honest. It just made everything seem a little bit more genuine, and that's something I appreciate. Llama right over there. Now it's time to deal with... Geez, what should I codename this guy? Patient Zero? Subject A? Well, he's sleeping anyways. Now, I could just talk to him as the shaman instantly, but I'm not going to do that yet. Of course, I gotta go up the chain of command. Let's start with the scribe.
I was just about to get to my chores. Oh, good morning, sir. If you're looking for my father, he's over by the llama pins.
Okay. I was just over there, but okay.
Tell me about your father.
My father is Haku. He harvests all the crops on this mesa. I think he is the busiest man of our village.
He's pretty awesome, I got to say. Oh my goodness, yes. Then you have this option. Because we saw the shaman before we actually talked to Acheo as any other person, we get this option added. Can I have talisman? Why did it have to be worded that way? But anyway, we might as well ask him for it, even though we did not really provoke him into talking about the subject of having the talisman in the first place.
Can I have the talisman?
No! The shaman told me not to give it to anyone. He said he saw it in my destiny. It is for me.
Me. Okay, go away now. But yeah, unfortunately, since we're not the shaman, we can't actually get the talisman.
Goodbye.
Bye, sir. I hope I was helpful.
You were hardly helpful. I'm gonna do a 360 pirouette spin, and when I turn around, you better still be awake. I'm not really good at 360 pirouette spins. Great. You know what? Let's get the stern guy out here and actually talk to him and wake him up.
I was just about to get to my chores. Oh, good morning, sir. If you're looking for my father, he's over by the llama pens.
Of course, he repeats everything depending on a new disguise.
Goodbye.
Bye, sir. I hope I was helpful. Good morning again, sir. How can I help you?
It's also weird when you actually talk to him while he's still up, because apparently they didn't do another shot in order to, like, he's still awake, because it just cuts to, like, when he's waking up. It's a bit off.
Goodbye.
Bye, sir. I hope I was helpful.
Guess I'm a bit anal when it comes to this game. Alright, well, we can't actually change how we look while he's awake, so... Magic spin! Yeah! It's shaman time, little boy. Oh dear. Alright, wake up, you. You're incredibly undignified for being in the presence of the shaman.
Shaman! I had the dream you spoke of. I saw everything you said I would see.
Well, at least your sleeping is actually doing something. Except, maybe I don't believe you.
Interesting. Tell me about your dreams.
I was in your balloon, rushing into the air, and I can see the whole city. The lines on the pampas moved and formed pictures, animals, and people. And I can hear many other shamans talking to me. They told me to look to the temple.
Good, okay. But yeah, the lines forming pictures. Something we gotta look for, too. Took a ride in his air balloon. At least it was in his dream, like he didn't hijack it. He could be the next balloon boy, but anyways. What was on the temple? Let's at least try to get something out of him.
What did you see on the temple?
I saw the faces of the spirits. They said that they knew where the totem was. Then I woke up from the dream.
Yep, bye, sir. I hope I was helpful. Nope. The faces of the spirits. It's gonna be interesting to kind of learn to see if we can actually... if that's actually helpful at all. But, do you have talisman?
Do you still have the talisman I gave you?
Why? Do you want the talisman? You gave it to me.
Well, at least he's like every other kid who gets a present. It's mine now. You can't have it anymore. Just confirming that you have it, boy. But here's some alternate dialogue for you. You can either say, I need it, or mine broke. Which is a kind of a silly thing. What are the talismans made out of? Because we don't actually know. I need it.
Acheo, I need to take back the talisman for a little while. I need it for an important ceremony.
Well, mine broke. I'm kind of a bit of a butterfingers.
Mine broke. Can I have yours?
Oh, of course, my shaman.
Just kind of left it at the... Okay. It was hidden behind the well this entire time.
That talisman is shaped suspiciously like the tooth-shaped gap in the stone pedestal we saw earlier.
By the pool. Alright, good to know.
The talisman is very ornate. It's shaped like a feathered dragon serpent, the Quo-thalas. One more trip to 7-Eleven and I'll have the whole set.
Excellent, but... Thanks, Cheo, you have served your purpose. You have saved this village. And you have fulfilled your destiny, I guess. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thank you for visiting me, shaman. I can't wait to hear more stories later. Yeah, shaman?
Alright, and that means we finally have the talisman. You wouldn't honestly go to sleep just because I'm the... Okay, you didn't. Good. Oh, now you did. I hear you now. Good. Alright, goodbye, Cheo. Hope you have a nice snooze. But this means we finally have the talisman. Flint talisman. You say. Masterfully crafted. It's got a Quo-thalas clasp. It's interesting because they actually spell Quo-thalas with a U, but most of the spellings I've seen are without the U. Mainly because I've usually been looking at the Latin America, Aztec, Mayan Quo-thalas compared to the South American. Which I kind of... It does make sense. But with that, now we can actually go ahead and return to two different places. Arthur mentioned the pedestal by the pool, but I'm gonna actually leave that until we actually go back and see what's going on over at the balloon. Plus, Arthur kind of gives this wonderful reason to go to the balloon.
Would you like to ride in my beautiful balloon? Da-da-da-da-da-da, balloon, da-da-da-da-da-da, up and away in my beautiful... You're not singing, Gage.
So yeah, it's exactly that reason why I'm gonna go back to the balloon. So I'll see you there. Now, before we actually go back in there, we have to change into something more suitable. We can't be the leader or the shaman in this area because they're both in that room. But seeing as we're supposed to be the boy of legend story, let's be the Cheo. And we might as well talk to the shaman again because now we've actually come back with the talisman. You can go, hey shaman, I came back from my house and brought it with me. What do I do with it?
Shaman, your little visitor is here.
Welcome back, Acheo. What may I do for you?
Please don't squeeze the shaman!
Well, I can't do that, apparently.
Do you still have it?
Yep, I got it from home. All nice and safe in my pockets.
Oh, of course.
Good. It will be important to you later. Spirits guard you, Acheo, on your journey. I know that you will make me proud. A young warrior.
Alright. Time for a balloon journey.
What a coincidence! The talisman that you swindled from the boy is made of flint. Try striking that against the stone block. I'll bet we can use that talisman to make some sort of spark, or maybe a piece of the basket can be used for kindling, or your shoes are made of nitroglycerin, or your helmet has a lighter, or we'll both spontaneously combust it. Help me, Gage! I'm losing it!
Okay, we'll get you into a fireproof room. Don't give you any sort of things in there, and we'll put you in a nice straitjacket. That sounds great. That sounds great.
Hey, if the block is made of flint, and the talisman is made of flint, that means it would be possible to open a cute little flint boutique. We'll call it Sparks, with a Z, and we'll have name tags and an antique cash register.
We'll make lots of money, and we'll go to New York City, and it'll be so great. Anyways, yes. This is made of flint, so we can just strike it against this block, and go up into the skies and have a romantic dinner. It'll be great.
Claire says, I'm sorry, but that painting just sucks. But this time, instead of getting mad, I just walk away, as if saying, girlfriend, don't even go there. So then he says, Gage, have you been listening to a word I've said?
Not really. Sorry about the romantic dinner. I kind of nodded off there. Kind of saw some things in the pictures over there.
From this view, we can pretty much see everything. But I can give some telescopic help if you'd like to sightsee a little better. I hope you brought quarters.
Didn't, but do you take Dramoy? That's all I got. But yes, we can see everything over here, and this is really a great area in order to see the scope of the land that you've actually traversed. Because you see over there, that's actually the farming mesa for Hakul and Acheo. We travel across the balloon system there to the main temple, and then up that hill to the aviary where we just kind of flew off there. And that's where the shaman and the aviator leader are. Quite a distance, really. And then you can see so much more. But let's get into more detail here. Let's look at the lines. Arthur mentioned that there was Nazca lines all over the cliffs, but this is really where we get into geoglyphs here. This would be over the Pampas, the plains, much like the Nazca lines.
Those Nazca-like lines must represent different times in history. I assume you saw something in those lines while you were daydreaming. It's incredible that they use such a sweeping landscape as their book of history.
One theory about the Nazca lines is actually that it was like this giant astronomical book. Like, all of the geoglyphs had something to do with the stars, the constellations, where they appeared in the sky, or where the sun was rising and setting. It's a conflicting theory. People are still trying to defend it, but it's not looking so well for that theory. But there's a lot of other theories for the Nazca lines. And it's an interesting place if you're actually wanting to go looking at it. Now, I didn't really mean to zoom out of there, but let's look at this further. While we were daydreaming, apparently, over to the right, we saw what each of these kind of mean. We got the windmill over there, that windmill shape, which was pretty much the destroyed Atlantis. Then we had the eyes over here. If you were paying attention when we did our little excursion in Shangri-La, you might notice that was the top of one of the temples. The middle part here, this bird, if you didn't know what this was over here, it was actually a marching Cyrillian army. some big, huge, incredible explosion, and then this symbol over here, which, of course, if you know the Journeyman series, this is the signature symbol. But it was used to signify the Quo-thalas. Quo-thalas. Or how many types of pronunciations there are for this place. So that's pretty much what was over there, but there was also symbols over here. Highlighted over there, we've seen these two symbols before as well.
Gage! See the two birds poised over the arrow-shaped pool? Those birds must represent the brothers. They're fighting over the pool.
Now, if you're still not sure about the brothers, the other symbols that were over there kind of signify what those brothers actually are. In addition to that zoom, you can also zoom down to the temple. If you remember from what Hacheo said about his dreams, he was on this balloon looking down at the temple, and he noticed the faces of the spirits.
Those four faces seem to have been placed in a specific orientation around the arrow shape. I'm sorry, but I'm not sure what significance it has at the moment.
Yeah, we're not sure because we haven't seen them other than up here. But if you remember when we were also in the temple, there was this arrow shape. It's pointing to the pool, which also is an arrow shape. You kind of see there, and also there. But the two brothers poised over the pool, maybe that's where the totem is, and that's what they were trying to get to. But the brothers aren't just some spirits in terms of the El Dorado story here. In terms of the tribe and what the shaman has been seeing, there's a lot more going on here. These symbols and what we saw kind of signify that. Two brothers wanting the totem. The totem is only one of three pieces. Each of them think it's their birthright. We don't know where the other two pieces are. Same as with Atlantis, it only mentioned one of the pieces, but we don't know about the other two. And they destroyed the city in the Great Battle. Much like the Calas Calere, when the sun and the moon, two brothers, also fought for the birthright that was theirs, and they destroyed the city also. Well, we don't need to really be over there. Our next destination is the pool. If you want to go back down, you just have to blow out the fire. Alright, safely down, and now we can make our way over back to the pool, so I'll see you over there. In addition, if you weren't sure about this place even existing until this point, going up under the balloon and noticing this pool would have given you indication of you being able to go here. And that's only if you are not someone who pokes around every corner of a location. So, back at the pool, what can we do differently here? Alright, still have this groove in here.
Think back to kindergarten. Square things go into square holes, circle things go into circular holes, and triangle-shaped jewelry things go into triangular-shaped indentations on pedestals. I like Hacheo and everything, but I'd hate to put his talisman on a pedestal. Don't bother, I'll hit myself. Ow! Go ahead and put the talisman on the indentation, Gage. I have no more puns.
Oh, don't worry, you'll replenish. But yes. Specifically, this talisman is able to fit. Kind of. It definitely is the closest of a shape we're ever going to get. So let's see what we can do. And what will happen, actually. And the water drains. And the music crescendos. It's a good track, too.
He's single, he time travels, he parts water, ladies and gentlemen, Gage Blackwood.
Now, if you remember the story, 2 guardian spirits of the elements guarded the location of the totem, while 2 others protected it. Water was definitely hiding this place. Probably argue that also air guarded this place because of, well, the thick foliage in order to get it over here. It wasn't easily seen. So what can we do in here? It definitely hasn't been drained in a long time because of all the growth underneath the water. Series of these. What do we got?
Gage, we found it! The actual birthplace of Pez!
I really wish you could actually get these as Pez dispensers, to be honest. Oh, you could have a collection. Collect all 6! It'll be great.
I recognize some of these heads from the wall depicting the great story inside the top of the temple. The story on the wall referred to them as the element spirits.
Yeah. Sure, but we don't really have any reference to go by.
24 ugly heads on the wall, 24 ugly heads. If one of those heads should happen to fall, 23 ugly heads on the wall. I think what we have here is a primitive version of the popular arcade game Whack-A-Mole.
How is it Whack-A-Mole? Anyway, he's on the roll again.
Yes. This art piece says so much to me. It's as if the heads were yelling out, hear no evil, speak no evil, see no evil, but the other 21 of us are gonna have fun. Hey, Gage, this is just like your tub, only you have the Muppet baby heads.
I appreciate the Muppet babies. Why don't you? Or the Muppets, for that matter.
At what point do you think they turned to the pool contractor and said, okay, enough with the heads already? I know it's overkill on the whole head thing, but I'll take this over the little peeing cherub boy any day.
Yeah, but I don't think these are actually water jets. I would see them as being water jets, but it doesn't really work that way.
Well, I guess we're headed in the right direction. Ow! How did you find my groin, Gage?
How did you find more puns, Arthur? I knew you would. Anyway, I think what signifies my kick in the groin for Arthur is a bit of a scully skull. Whoa. So what technology do they have at this time that makes the eyes glow when you press in a switch? Unless something else is going on here.
Apparently the heads were meant to be pushed in. But why? There must be some purpose for all these heads. Could this be a strange, mysterious device used to amuse some giant baby?
Oh my goodness.
Remember what the shaman told us? He said that the first shaman asked the element spirits to help guard the totem. We've already faced air in the balloon, and we just emptied water. Maybe these faces somehow represent the next element. The earth spirit.
Tohawalpa. You work in mysterious ways. But yeah, if anything signifies Earth, it would probably be this. It's kind of the weirdest one in order to signify. Let's see what he actually has to comment on.
Hey, the eyes glow. Normally, only your eyes can light up a room, Gage.
Aw, you're too sweet. Hey, mine bug out more than yours actually do, but then again, you don't really have any sort of eyelids. But you do because you blink.
I think we saw the answer to this puzzle on our balloon ride over the aviary. Remember the 4 heads we saw on the top of the temple? They were arranged specifically around an arrow shape. That clue was showing us the combination of heads to press in this pool. I know your mind is a finely honed aluminum trap, but in the off chance you've forgotten the pattern of the heads from the top of the temple, just ride the shaman's balloon up again. Once you memorize the pattern, return here and push the correct head for each of the walls.
And this is what pretty much Arthur is meaning. Back on the balloon, you see the arrow shape that is in the top of the temple. Not really good for rain. But it's exactly the same shape as the pool, so that's a good marker for each of these heads.
These 4 heads on the temple roof must be related to the heads we saw in the pool. If I had to make a guess, these faces tell us exactly which head to push in for each of the 4 walls. I have to hand it to him. What a clever place to hide the answer to a combination lock. I always put mine in my wallet.
You heard the badum bunk there. It wasn't even a tish. There was no symbol involved. But yes, in terms of looking at the pool, there's actually 4 sets of the 6 heads there. And each of them have their own specific head to be pushed in. It's kind of difficult to remember which of the combination for, but I have this interesting thing in my head. You got Woody here, you got Bulldoggy here, so Woody, Bull, you got this thing that kind of looks like a bird. Woody, Bull, Bird. And this one's just angry, so it's grr. So, Woody, Bull, Bird, grr. So, now back here with the combination in mind, let's begin putting in the heads. We're gonna go in clockwise fashion from the bottom left corner. Starting with Woody here.
Only 1 set of eyes glow at a time. I don't mean to play on your innate paranoia gauge, but I think they're mocking you.
You kind of do with the red eyes, but yes, that's also a thing. You can't have more than 1 pushed at one time. Which kind of makes the lock combination actually work properly. So we got 1 to the side here, 1 to the other side. So Woody's been pulled in. Next is Bull over here. Then over here, kind of in the shadow, is Bird. And then finally over in this corner... Is it just me or does this wall look kind of weird? But anyways... Over here is the grr face over here. I don't want to see its eyes light up, but there you go, grr!
That seemed to do the trick. Sounds like we opened a door nearby.
Well, it's definitely not over there. When you first look at that, it looks like something like over there should open up, but it's actually not the case. Also, the sound and music just got a little bit more dynamic as the stairs opened up. Alright, let's go inside.
A pessimist might view a wall of fire popping up in front of them as a minor setback. But you, Gage, you're a rock. Stop crying. We can get through this.
3 elements down, 1 to go, and of course it's fire. What better way to do it? Where do people get their lava? Alright, well, fire's not so bad. We're in our chameleon suit, even though we look like a little boy right now. It's just kind of blowing this direction, so we might as well be able to just get through it.
Cinnamon! No, Gage, your eyebrow's on fire.
This is the only case where we actually get hurt in this game, but of course getting hurt doesn't really mean anything. I do like that they use the soundbite from the first Journeyman project game, actually, when you're just running into a wall. They actually use the sound. Yeah, when we step across these things open up and blast more fire in our face.
Instead of trying to sneak around this thing by camouflaging ourselves as fire, maybe we should try putting it out.
How?
Remember the great story the shaman told us? No, Gage, not the Star Wars trilogy. He said that the first shaman of their people asked the four spirits to help him protect the totem. Somehow the solution lies in the mythology of this culture.
Do you remember the story in the temple where the first shaman, when putting away the totem, the fire was actually protecting it, but when the young boy was getting it, the fire wasn't there anymore and was replaced with water?
The four spirits represent the elements. Air revealed this place to us with the shaman's balloon. The pool was concealed by water, and a hidden door of earth blocked the entrance to this temple. Now the spirit of fire blocks our path. These element spirits really know how to carry a grudge. Remember the scribes' walls? They depicted scenes of the great story. Part of the story showed a young man with a talisman begging the water spirit for help. So we need to somehow have the element of water bail us out. How did Aquaman do it in the Super Friends?
He called a dolphin, or he called a turtle to hatch in a sea dome underneath the water in order to make it not get flooded. Aquaman is not going to help us.
We know that removing the pedestal fills the pool. So if we removed it now while the earth door is open, the water should flood into the fire corridor and extinguish the heat miser.
But he's got a temperature of 101. I think water would be able to do it? Will there actually be enough water? I doubt it. Let's do it.
I'm allergic to flame.
I'm not.
Gage, don't walk into the wall of fire again. If you ruin the paint job on this jumpsuit, the warranty is forfeit.
Just gonna get singed a bit, going to up my body temperature to the amount of fire, and then it won't hurt as much.
Gage, do you know why animals have a natural fear of fire? Because it hurts! We've already faced earth, wind, and fire. Now headlining the show, blood, sweat, and tears!
What goes up must come down. A spinning wheel, turn around.
I don't remember the rest.
I'm sure you don't. But that's kind of that's odd. It oddly fits, and then it's just like, oh, wait a minute. Oh, that's great. Yeah, let's not go into the fire again. It's all steamy. Or smoky. So yeah, the case is that we have to somehow get water in order to help us. Another thing is actually if we change the combination slightly, like so. No, it doesn't. Huh, that's interesting. I didn't think that would actually work. Just, okay. Thanks, Woody, for not proving my point. But here's the case. If we take the talisman out, which we had to in order to get back onto the balloon because we needed something to strike the stone with, it did fill back up with water, which means that when you put down the talisman again, water drains, and then we were able to continue forward. But now we have a door open. It's time to wreck this Guardian's water supply.
Bravo, Gage! That should be the last of the Element Guardians. Now let's search the rest of this temple.
Alright then. The music also stops, which is unfortunate. And now it's even more steamy than it was before. Now we can head on in, past the fire, and see what's inside. Judging from the music, we're pretty close. Yeah, even the lava's gone down there. Everything's weirdly blue now.
Here's gourmet food for thought. The shaman, thinking that you were the farm boy Achale, confided that he had a dream about the boy. The shaman saw Achale save the artifact and said that he had a great destiny. Gage, you were disguised as the boy when you visited the shaman. Do you think that he really dreamed about you?
It's possible. Like I said before, he was vague in terms of who was going to be the one to recover the artifact. But he did see Acheo in his dreams. It may not have been Acheo, but it might have been Gage himself because he was disguised as Acheo. Only one person gets out of El Dorado alive, and that is the person who recovers the totem. Unfortunately, it looks like that's going to be us. Ever so slowly, we take one step further into the temple. Faintly, we can actually see etchings on the walls here. Not much we can do about it, though. Unless that happens. Oh. We didn't even have to scan these in order for them to actually show up.
I'll translate that large grouping of pictograms on the pillar. Ever since the spirit teachers first gave our shamans the gift of the dream seeing, our people have been entrusted with recording stories that have passed and stories that will come. We have seen that the wrath of the brothers spans across many generations. Far, far into tomorrow, more years than can be counted by generations, the brothers will return for a final battle when all of the totems are brought together. Our shamans have seen many murky dreams about this coming conflict. Although the outcome is uncertain, the fate of the world will be decided. The city of Earth and Water was the first city that the spirits visited. They taught them the power of life and healing, but their city was consumed by the brothers in a battle of fire and wind.
Remember back in Atlantis, there was, of that mural, the three areas. One was the feathered serpent, one was a lotus, and the third on the top was the sacred bull. A vitality symbol, a symbol of life. So, El Dorado spoke of the brothers' attack on Atlantis.
One terrible day in the shadows of tomorrow, the brothers will come to find the totem that will allow them to see time as our shamans do. They will destroy our city, but our culture, our stories, and our totem will be saved by a brave warrior.
A brave warrior, possibly a Cheo, but possibly someone else that was not foreseen, and honestly could not be explained. The inscription is also over here, still being vague, but, well, something to pay attention to.
One day in the shadows of tomorrow, a distant mountain city will be visited by the spirits. Because of their focus, their solemn priests were taught the power of matter. After learning from the all-powerful spirits, these holy men could change the elements. Then the brothers came, demanding the power of matter, and another tribe was destroyed.
A mountain city. And the power of matter? Well, there's only one other city. They were speaking of the future. Somewhere that we actually have to go into the future ourselves. And that's all of the etchings. Which leads us to what we have right in front of us. If you actually look above, you see the hole And if you remember from all the way at the top of the temple, for where the scribe is, we looked down here and saw this. It was right under our nose the entire time.
That must be the artifact. Hurry and grab it, Gage, and I'll jump us back to TSA.
There's our legacy piece. We got the Totem of Life from Atlantis, and now the Totem of Time from here. Let's bring it back to TSA with the other one.
Excellent work, Gage. While you were gone, Dalton and Michelle discovered something remarkable about the first artifact.
We concentrated our efforts on the overlapping symbols covering the artifact. With a little luck, we found formulae beneath several layers of inscriptions.
And this is the remarkable part. The formulae details the physics necessary for time travel. The very same physics that powers our own jumpsuits.
So the secret of time travel was purposely hidden in our past?
Dr. Sinclair invents that same technology centuries later.
Dear Lord, what is this thing?
Quo-thalas have entered the Earth system?
Nothing has deterred them. They've ignored the Orylen ambassador's plea for peace talks. The symbiotry appears powerless. It looks like it's all up to us.
I'll find the last artifact.
Two down, one to go. We definitely know that the last piece is in Shangri-La, according to what the temple in El Dorado said. The Totem of Matter. They had more information about it than Atlantis did. If Elliot Sinclair was really Saros, then he had access to the only one piece, a fraction, which meant that, well, in terms of Gage, not centuries, millennia. It took a lot longer. It took them a few thousand years in order to actually create the rest of the time travel formula himself, because I doubt he would actually have access to the other two pieces. And that's pretty much where we are right now. El Dorado is actually surprisingly shorter than the rest of the other time periods, but while it does have a grand scope to it, it definitely feels like there wasn't a lot to it. But that's going to be changed when we head back to Shangri-La, because there is a lot that we still have to do that. We have not scratched the surface of that place yet, and that's why it's really suitable for being our final time zone to explore. The final legacy piece is there. It's about time we actually go and find it. So, I'll see you next time, everyone, as we return to the Himalayas and find that third and final legacy piece. But before we do, Dalton, spin, light. Alright, we at least gotta do this at least one more time, because I doubt we're actually gonna be here one more time anyways. See you next time, everyone.